everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I am going to talk about the 6 things that I found important to know before starting my candle business. Now, I'm not going to ramble any further in this intro. I am just going to hop right into it. So let's get into it. So I spend a lot of my time, my downtime, watching videos on YouTube. YouTube has become a place where you can find just about any tutorial out there, any information out there, and also see people who are just like you, um, trying to turn a hobby into a business or trying to learn a skill that you could turn into something that is profitable. So I do a lot of looking at YouTube and looking at other small candle businesses out there just to get some information, to learn a couple of things, and to try and get inspired to incorporate stuff into my own company. And of course, you come across some videos where it leaves you scratching your head wondering, is that safe to do? So here are 6 things that I didn't realize was going to be so important to me until I started to go into the actual process of making candles and eventually opening up my small candle business. The first thing that I found important was, of course, you are going to do a lot of testing. I mean, a lot of testing. When it comes to being a candle maker, testing is important not just because it helps you build your recipe for your candle, but it also helps you become familiar with the candle that you are creating. And when I say it helps you become familiar with your candle, how it burns, how the wick performs in like a draft area, how light or strong the hot throw is, how hot your jar gets, and other things that you can be testing for. Now, I've seen a couple of people out there who haven't done any testing at all, and they've found a video that helps them put together the basic ingredients, but a lot goes into making a candle than just your basic ingredients. You really have to sit down and take the time to test out how your product is going, especially if you're turning this into a side hustle or a small business. Because if something happens with your candle in somebody else's possession, guess who is going to be liable for the damages? That's right, you are. So it's always important to make sure you test. The next thing is testing costs a lot. And I mean a lot. Now, I'm sure you've heard that candle businesses can be started with as little as $200 to $500. But what people don't tell you and what they don't factor in when they're telling you this information is that testing alone could be a lot higher than that. And you're probably asking yourself, well, why is testing so much higher than actually starting a business? Well, it's because you're trying to perfect your candle to the best possible form it can be. This means finding the right wick that will perform the best with your jar and ingredients. This also means trying different waxes to make sure it's the best fit for you and your brand. This also means trying fragrance oils because not every oil performs the same or smells the best in a candle. And with all the ingredients that you're going to test to make that perfect candle in your eyes, it is going to really cost you a good penny to get to that final result. The next thing on this list is Amazon. Amazon is not the best for everything. Now, if candle making is just going to be a hobby for you, then Amazon might be your choice because it is on the lower end as far as pricing goes, and there are some I've seen some waxes that are on there that people have used that I've found at the actual company that makes the wax. So, and they sell it on Amazon. So, Amazon might be an okay fit for you if you're just making candles just for yourself or maybe friends or family in a small batch of candles. But if you're looking to make this a side hustle or a small business, then going the route of candle suppliers is always the better fit. And why do I say candle suppliers are the better fit when it comes to small businesses and side hustles? Well, it's because they have invested the time and the testing into the products that you are going to use in your product. And you want something that's reputable and that people know what they're actually doing. And what's good about candle suppliers as opposed to Amazon is that if you have any questions or concerns, then you can always reach out to them. I've reached out to Candle Science, to California Candle Supply, to Flaming Candle, to Hive and Honey, and they've all responded back to me within 24 hours. And they were very helpful in answering any follow up questions that I had when using the products that I purchased from them. So, yeah, it's always nice to have somebody there to answer your questions sooner than later. And while they may be pricey when it comes to certain items or shipping, of course, because shipping right now is extremely high for a lot of these companies, remember it's an investment. Now, that's not to say that Amazon is a bad choice or not a good fit. I use Amazon for my overhead stuff. So I use it to get my boxes because Uline is really expensive, but I get good boxes on Amazon for all my packaging, most of my packaging. I also use it sometimes for jars, but you have to be a little careful about who is supplying those jars. And of course, that's when testing is very important thing to have to do. So I use it for like the littler things that I need for my business. The next thing I found important was that you are going to have a lot of changes from your labels and your packaging to the type of ingredients you use in your candles. Things are going to change a lot as you go through the process of making it from hobby to starting up your small business. So I've noticed that since the beginning, the very beginning, I've gone through 5 different changes as far as my labels and my packaging goes. As far as my waxes goes, I've gone through 3 changes. Um, Fragrance oils, my starting lineup. So I had 6 scents that I use as my starting lineup, which is my current lineup today that I use. I went through 7 changes. My jars, thank God, I picked my jars, and those were the jars that I wanted. And of course, wicks, you are going to go through an abundance of changes with those. So it is okay when things what that you first envision don't work out as planned, because the more you build on it, the more you work on it, the better the outcome is going to be. And you'll see something that you have absolutely fallen in love with, and you are happy that you did the process to get to that point. The next thing I found important to know is to have multiple options when it comes to your supplies. So when I was looking for jars or vessels, as some people call them, I wanted the tumblers to be for one of my collections, and I came across a tumbler that was like a mocha see-through frosted glass, and I just instantly fell in love with it. Um, I couldn't like see my collection in any other jar but that jar right there. So I said, well, once I get started and I start working on my comfort collection and putting it out there and seeing what people like, um, and build it up a little bit, I'm going to work on next collection, and I'm going to go to this supplier and get these jars, and these will be my jars for my new collection. Well, I didn't know, and a lot of us candle makers didn't know that this company was going to close their doors. So they shut down. They went out of business. And I searched everywhere online to find jars similar to um, this jar that I fell in love with from this company and could not find it. I found somewhat similar renditions of it, but it just wasn't that dark, smoky aesthetic that I wanted from these jars. So going through that little experience made me start to look for backup suppliers for all the items that I use. And you're probably asking why you want to have backup suppliers for your supplies, because if you pick something that is only specific to that one company, other companies might not have that out there, and you end up having to then switch your vessel, like in my case, switching your vessel to something that is more popular and can be found at multiple suppliers rather than just one. So having those multiple options is a good idea to have, especially for your jars, your wicks, and your wax. That way, you know that if this supplier is out of stock, then you can always check your other suppliers, and it doesn't break up the production in your line. Now, if all your suppliers are out of stock, then yeah, you're gonna have to wait until everything comes back into stock. And to wrap up this whole list, the last thing is to do your research before anything. Whether you're just starting out, or you are in the process of starting a new collection, or you're adding a new product to your small business or your side hustle, do the research and just look at a couple of things, read a couple of articles, understand your product more and more, because you're able to then um, put that information out to your customers when they go to purchase your item. And you're able to, of course, answer their questions about your product. Now, I know not everybody loves to do research. I mean, why would you want to sit there and flip through pages and pages of information? Well, I say do the research on everything that you do when it comes to your side hustle slash small business or even your hobby, because it prepares you on what to look for and how to solve any problems that may come up. So, doing your research gives you a starting point. That way, you're not there scratching your head wondering, how do I fix this issue? So, that was it for my little list of important things that I now am glad that I know and that I can share with others. I will be going through that testing process again, and I will be testing another collection um, for the rest of the year. So I hope these little tidbits help refresh your memory, or for those who are just starting out, give you a little insight on what to expect when it comes to going on this journey of making candles, and if you're going to make it a hobby or a small business side hustle at some point. If you like these types of videos, you want a little more informative videos, then hit that like button and comment down below with a thumbs up, and I can definitely do more of these types of videos. Um, I am done. I'm going to now relax and enjoy the rest of my day, because I feel like I have been going nonstop when it comes to the pop-up markets and the personal stuff that I have to deal with. So I'm going to relax. You can follow me on Instagram. All my links are in the description down below, as well as my Etsy shop. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. And don't forget to show yourself a little more appreciation. So until next time, this is Tammy saying, take care, everyone.